always forget my BB cream. Hello everybody! Today we are doing another Get Ready With Me and a spoiler talk, and I'm pretty sure you know what we're doing. I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I need to talk about this because I still don't... Oh my god, I'm not over it. Not over it. Am I over any of the books I read? No. This is why I continue to read, because we're chasing a feeling, chasing something. Ooh gosh. This book was, first of all, this book was supposed to be part of a vlog, but I was too excited to read it, so I read it before I even vlogged it. So this is pretty much the first time I'm really getting to go in depth into this book. So I'm really excited. We're gonna get ready because we have a big day planned of filming more videos. So let's do it. Let's go through some products real quick. NYX BB cream. Super easy, super simple. NYX concealer. Super simple, super easy. I like it. We have Maybelline Define a Line black eyeliner. Rimmel Scandalize mascara. Revolution Forever Flawless color palette. Constellation. Amazing. Alright, those are the products I'm using, and we're talking this and pumpkin cream cold brew. Does it get any better than this? I guess we'll start with a summary. A nameless woman, you heard me right, our main character is nameless. She is going on a road trip with her boyfriend, and they are going to see his parents for just dinner, but it's a long road trip to get there, and they're not staying, they need to get back that same night, so pretty weird circumstances. And not only are they going on this road trip, but our nameless main character is thinking of ending things. She doesn't know if she wants to continue her relationship with her boyfriend anymore. What's her boyfriend's name? Oh god, it's like James or something. Jake. Jake. I'm glad it was close. That makes me feel a little bit better. So I gave this book 4 stars. It was really creepy and atmospheric. It wasn't so much like heart-pounding terror, but it was very creepy and strange, and you really want to leave. And the end, of course, when it's, you know, getting to the climax of the book, you are scared, so of course, but throughout the book it's very atmospheric, and it just is very much lonely. It is a lonely little piece of fiction, that piece. We rearranged some things. Everything looks better now. The book's right here. Now you can see it. So, it really wasn't until, I guess, maybe about the end of the book that I realized our main character was nameless. It was very jarring to realize that I hadn't noticed. I was so caught up in everything else that was going on. Okay, so we're going to talk about it in 3 parts. Spoiler warning officially, because we're going in. 3 parts of the book. Going there, at the parents' house, and then coming back. Our nameless main character is dating Jake. Jake is just, you know, he's a nice guy. He's fine. I really didn't see anything wrong with him as the main character described him. Keep in mind, we're in part 1. Part 1 is really a lot of inner dialogue and memories and atmospheric prose. It is our nameless main character being picked up by Jake, and then they're on their way to Jake's parents' house. Now, it's kind of odd because it's spoken about like it's a road trip, right? So road trips are trips. They're a couple of days, right? And his parents live pretty far. And then it's said that they need to get back same day. So it's already kind of weird. It's already a little strange. Why would they go so far just for dinner, just to come back that same day? You know? And then, not to mention that as they're driving there, it starts to get colder, snowier, it's dark, it's barren, it's very farmy, which is noted by Jake, and the main character doesn't really seem to mind it, but it's talked about a lot, how bleak it is, how empty, how there's nothing. I feel like the spoiler review would not be, or the spoiler talk would not be complete if I didn't talk about the movie as well, because the movie is done slightly differently than the book is, and I'm not saying that Charlie Kaufman did anything wrong by doing that. I just want to talk about it also because it was different, and I think it's worth mentioning, especially in a spoiler talk, because we're spoiling it. I want to talk about it. We're talking about it. Spoiler talk for the movie as well. On the drive to the parents' house in the movie, it is so boring. It is so boring. And I read the book first, and then I watched the movie like the night after, and it was truly, I really wanted to pay attention, and I wanted to see what was different, what was the same, if I recognized anything in the beginning that would lead me clues to the end, and it was, I really had to fight to stay awake, and the characters, she would be doing her inner dialogue, or her inner monologue, and then he would interrupt her, and it was very jarring. And in the book that didn't necessarily happen. There was a lot more of just her thinking and not a lot of them talking. The beginning of the book is definitely preferable than the movie, which is kind of sad because I really wanted like a more easily accessible way of getting through it in order to kind of remember, and I really just, the differences were very important. The differences were very important between the book and the movie. I haven't done makeup in a few days and I forget how I do this, so eyeliner next. Girl, let's go. Let's see how well our skills have held up after a few days. 1 crappy line, 2 crappy lines. We are living the dream. So I really want to reread this book, mainly because the movie is not going to give me the same kind of explanation I guess I was looking for. So really, to understand the book, you really just have to reread it. So that's really that, and I do plan on doing a reread. So I don't know if that's going to happen this month or next month. The book does this really neat thing. I love when they do these things. They make me happy. It does, what does it do? God. I hyped it up and now I forgot what it was. And this book doesn't really have chapters. What it has is splits. So you'll be chugging along. It'll break in paragraphs and it'll even do a line spacing. But then it'll do a whole page break, and it'll be not our main character and her boyfriend Jake, it'll be what seems to be detectives or police officers. I'm not entirely sure, they're not named. And it's just dialogue. And so it was very interesting because you're trying to figure out why that matches this and how something like that could have happened, and you're wondering if it's one of the characters you already know. Are they the victim? Are they the murderer? It's super interesting, super cool. So we're gonna go on to eyes. Let me figure out what I want my life to look like. What am I doing? I'm gonna go with Universal, Harp, and Celestial. Okay? Alright, I'm gonna use those 3. So we're just gonna hope for the best. Good luck to me. Okay, so after the drive 2, we get the parents' house, okay? So it's already stressful because our main character has been thinking about the whole time breaking up with her boyfriend Jake, and now she's at his parents' home and she's there, she's chilling, and she's, you know, contemplated the morality of this decision. Like, should I really be meeting his parents when I'm thinking about breaking up with him? she kind of feels bad, and now she's here. And whether or not she's planning on staying with him, meeting somebody's parents is stressful. Meeting new people is stressful. And you have to be charming, and you have to eat in front of people. And not to mention she's also like lactose intolerant, so she has to be wary of that and have to deal with that. So before they go into the house, they like visit 3 different animals' pens because he lives on a farm, right? And either like a cross between the 3 wise men and the 3 ghosts of Christmas kind of deal, like where they're just trying to warn you basically, you know? So first they visit the sheep, right? And it's sad and it's overpacked and it's, you know, winter and there's snow now and it's really cold and there are 2 like frozen lambs and they're dead, and Jake's very like, oh, that's, you know, there's nothing to do about it. And it's at this point where we start to realize Jake's a little weird. He's just a little creepy. He makes things a little bit off. Does my face match? No. Then he takes her to the pen where they used to keep, ooh yeah, I'm keeping you in suspense while I do my eye makeup. He takes her to the pen where they used to keep the pigs, okay? So he tells her about the time when they did have pigs and his parents were, they didn't really pay attention to the pigs and didn't care about them. And the pigs, like, basically they were being eaten alive by maggots. And, okay, horrible, horrible. And then we're not done. We have one more horrible thing to learn about with his horrible life with these animals, okay? Then we go to the chicken coop, alright? Nothing necessarily bad is happening in that moment, but then Jake brings up the fact that if they don't get the eggs fast enough, the mom hens will like crack open the egg and eat it. Like, oh my gosh. So after all of that, Jake finally permits them to go inside and face the horrible anxiety that is meeting somebody else's parents. And the parents are weird. They're not necessarily like, you know, the scariest part of this or anything. And honestly, when they were finally leaving, I was like, really? That's it? That's all we're gonna get of the parents? I mean, they have an uncomfortable dinner. The parents don't really like pay attention. It's become a little bit obvious. They forget that his girlfriend is lactose intolerant, so they make a dessert that is not edible for her. The house becomes empty at one point. This is where like time jumps start to happen. So Jake becomes like super quiet. He makes our nameless main character kind of like defend herself during dinner and like talk to his parents alone basically. And then like time starts skipping and all of a sudden she's alone in the house. And so she's walking around looking for them. It's getting kind of, not kind of, it is creepy at this point because now she sees a picture that is a childhood picture of Jake, but it looks like it could be her, she says, which is the point where you know, the point that drew me into the movie, that drew me into the book. I'm like, okay, yes, here we are. How can, like, these 2 people who don't look alike have their kid picture look like each other? I love it. Let's get into the mystery, okay? So she's alone now. She's exploring the house. She's trying to find someone to talk to, trying to find the parents, trying to find Jake. She needs to go home. I believe in the, so I believe in the book, it's Jake who needs to get home because he has work tomorrow. And in the movie, it is our nameless main character who has to get home tomorrow. So, little bit of a difference, doesn't really matter. No, because in the book, it is our main character who's like, Jake, we have to go. And she, you know, can't find him, basically. So, this is where the movie also kind of makes a huge difference than the book. Because in the movie, the parents start to, like, age weirdly. Like, time is flowing through them, I think is what the trailer said or something. She's seeing their past, present, and future, and Jake taking care of them and being there, and I guess it was at that point in the movie you started to realize that things were truly not correct, and it kind of made you like not care about like the fear, terror, anything else I was building. And so the movie kind of lost a lot of points for that, because it's not a scary movie, it's not a terror movie, it's not a horror movie. It just is kind of what it is. And the book is actually kind of like thrilling, you know? Finally she finds in Jake's room, she finds Jake's room. And in Jake's room she finds a picture of a high school girlfriend, and then she also finds a box of pictures, and the box is labeled Us. And it's like close-up pictures of the body. Like, not body horror or anything like scary like that, but like toes or lips or like a little like crook of the elbow, just super close-up pictures, right? Almost like someone trying to find their identity within the pieces of themselves. So I believe it's at this point that she finally finds Jake and is like, we gotta go, and he's like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it, right? And in the movie he wasn't like that, right? Every time she would find him, she would be like, we gotta go, and he's like, hang on. Then they finally leave, right? And they're leaving, and he's like, let's get something sweet since you didn't get dessert because you're lactose intolerant. And she's like, okay, he does remember. Maybe we won't break up. Maybe this isn't the end, right? And they go to like basically the equivalent of a Dairy Queen, and they get like frozen lemonades, and they're on their way home, right? And it's back to like this sense of loneliness, but even more so. It's snowing super heavily, it's dark and depressing and sad, and then he's like, we gotta throw out our lemonades because they're gonna get gross. And I'm like, okay, it would make more sense if you got ice cream, because ice cream gets gross right after, right? So they go to they go to a school, and it's at this point that it's getting much more atmospheric again, right? Okay, so our main character is focusing on, where is this school? It's in the middle of nowhere, there's trees everywhere, it's a forest, it's snowing, it's dark, it's scary, and then all of a sudden there's a school, right? And then Jake tries to like put the moves on our nameless main character, and I was like, this is a little out of nowhere. And then Jake sees someone see them in the car, right? And it's weird because it's, okay, I'm the driver's seat, right? And here's the main character, and if I were to put the moves on the main character, I would be like this, right? And the school is where you guys are. So how could I, from my position over here, how could I know that someone was looking at us? So we're getting creepy, it's getting scary. Jake goes to investigate, he doesn't come back. So our main character is like, we gotta go get Jake, and I'm gonna bounce out, okay? Here's another difference, right? The main character in the movie gets locked out of the car. So of course she has to go to this school. And it's just a little bit, I don't know. The movie loses me so much. The book though, the book. So she's in the school, she sees a janitor, she's trying to hide from the janitor, she thinks the janitor is killing Jake, she's running, she's hiding, she finds a hiding spot, she's there, she's scared, it's horrible, and then she hears someone coming up to her hiding spot, and it's scary, and he opens the door, and it's Jake, and he says, I'm thinking of ending things. She says, me too, and she pulls a wire hanger down. Oh my gosh, and she kills herself, and she and Jake are one person, and apparently they're also the janitor. What? Amazing. Amazing. And then at the very end, there's this little dialogue between the detectives, and it's like they found this story, right? It's the story. It's I'm thinking of ending things. They found it by the body, and he's like, you should read it, but maybe start at the end and then work your way back to the beginning. And that is something that was just really like, wrap that up in a nice little bow. It wasn't very optimistic. It was very pessimistic. It felt very much like this person could not reconcile the parts of their identity and what was going on in their life, and they couldn't be okay with what has happened, and they were thinking of ending things, and they did. And it was sad and horrible, and trigger warnings for days. And in the movie, though, we're getting hints of the janitor the whole time. As soon as we see the parents change age really fast, it makes it obvious that our main character is not real, and then you stop, you know, caring. And in the end, you don't really get the same reconciliation of Jake and the nameless main character and the janitor. You get more of this, like, you're just supposed to know at a certain point that it's the janitor and he's all of them. And after the janitor tries to commit suicide, he actually survives. And it's much more optimistic in the movie, and how can I fault someone for saying or trying to give an optimistic viewpoint on something? I'm not. I'm just saying that for the thrills and the terror and the spooks that I was looking for, the book gave it to me. And whoo, wow. And even just talking about it again with you guys really makes it, really makes a lot more things clear for me. Like the thing about the animals and how it's a lot of like parental neglect and how that kind of can eat away at you, or it can destroy you almost if you let it, almost. And then there is I really loved the box of photographs and how it says of us, and it really feels like, and it gives the impression that Jake was struggling with his identity and maybe feeling like his identity was split into maybe a few different pieces. And it doesn't have to be full on like personality disorder where you're having multiple personalities or something like that, but it definitely feels like he couldn't reconcile different pieces of himself. You know, the piece that wants to be this good guy, the piece who wanted to be the boyfriend or be the boyfriend who would bring his girlfriend around to his parents and be a good husband and have this kind of life. And he couldn't reconcile that with the piece of him that was a janitor, that was alone, and that had no one. And so it was very it was sad, and it was haunting, and it was beautiful. It was, oh gosh, it was really good. It was really good. I think I did not expect it to go in the direction that it did, but I'm glad it did. And I'm glad that the movie was different as well. You get kind of two pieces or two sides of a story, and it kind of, like I said, I'm not going to fault someone for trying to find an optimistic viewpoint in a story, and I'm definitely not going to do it in regards to a suicide story at all. I'm just glad that there are two different kind of pieces for that, and I'm glad that the movie didn't shy away from kind of changing what the book was intending to do. I do think that whoever created the trailer for that movie did a fair amount of lying and trying to change what it was about or trying to make it seem like it was a different movie, but I'm not going to fault the movie's creation or any of its differences from the book, because really, really good. Both of them really good. The book, amazing. I really liked it. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars, and after being able to talk it through with you guys and kind of understand it a little bit more, I really love getting to do these spoiler talks because it lets me think deeper about these books and talk about it through with you guys, and I get even a little bit more pieces. Really enjoy all of that. Thank you so much for watching today. Oh my gosh. Video's over. Here's my look. It's this. We have an outfit on. Alright. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you had fun in this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!